Well, 9 years ago, an explosive device went off next to Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Hill while on a tour of Afghanistan, leaving him with a devastating brain injury.
Struggling to cope after being discharged from the army, he turned to painting and has now become one of the UK's leading portrait artists.
Well, Stuart joins us now with his latest portrait, which is absolutely marvellous, because it's me. It's great to see you. We first met when, you know my brother, actually, is a serving officer, and he brought you to Britain's Got Talent when I was a judge on that, and you came along, and I heard your story for the first time, and it's a story not uncommon, sadly, for people in our armed forces who've served in Iraq and Afghanistan. You suffered some bad injuries as a result of an IED explosive device that went off when you were leading a team in Afghanistan. Tell us just quickly about that and the immediate aftermath and what you thought your life was now going to be.
OK, right, so my last memory of Afghanistan is watching a Chinook helicopter fly away to the right and is carrying the bodies of my dead and injured soldiers. Robbie Laws had just been killed, Guy Disney has just had his leg shot off, for the next 4 weeks now, I've got complete amnesia. So I'm talking to you on the ground when Lance Corporal Dennis, a young guy, walks past and stands on a bomb that we hadn't detected, which kills him and destroys my tactical headquarters. And I'm found over there somewhere in a ditch with a radio antenna embedded in the back of my brain. That was the end of my army career. If I'd stayed in, if I hadn't been injured, I could have been at the same level, perhaps higher than your brother at the moment. But the ability to command and lead on operations hundreds, potentially thousands of soldiers. So my brain injury is to do with the bruising suffered here, which is to do with planning and organising and problem solving. And I'm deficient in that area. So, to put it in a work context, I think I could hold down a job in a fast food chain at the back doing sort of the chips and the flipping the burgers because it won't place that much demand on my thinking part of the brain. I know I would not have the capability of being on the front desk because it would be too much information, too much sound, too much distraction to deal with this part of the brain.
So you'd gone from being an army commander in charge of many men, very courageous, as we've just heard, to suddenly not being able to control anything, really, or to command anything. A lot of soldiers, when they come out of the army, they struggle anyway, never mind having the problems that you had. So you must have felt that life was going to be very tough for you. And then, somehow, this came along, painting. How?
I mean, it's not a somehow. So it takes years to actually recover. For anyone, for whatever the cause, if you suffered a life-changing injury, it's actually very difficult and very hard, or it can be. 2010, so a year after my injury, you won't really know how bad I felt about myself and how my life in my eyes was just worthless. Even though I had family, even though I had a car, even though I had a house, I had everything to be grateful for. But my sense of self-worth was useless. So having that invitation to Britain's Got Talent for a short period of time was something to really look forward to.
Even though we as a lifeline.
It is, and that's what when you're struggling, when you can't man up for whatever reason, you search out for bits of anything that can improve your life. It was at the end of 2010 where I happened to be on a holiday with and got to know an artist, and he was very passionate about it. And he reminded me indirectly that I used to enjoy O-level art in 1986. 24 years later, I asked to borrow a pencil, and I'm trying to draw the swimming pool in front of me. 3 hours after that, my wife's knocking me on the shoulder and saying, "Stu, you're going to be late for dinner, you need to shower."
Totally absorbed.
Totally absorbed, and not a single moment in that 3 hours of thinking about my own self.
Right. So it gave you suddenly a release. An escapist.
It gave me a way to escape when I needed to.
You've become remarkably talented. I just did half an hour I sat for you and you produced this, and there's a big exhibition at the moment. Tell me about the exhibition, first of all.
OK, so there's a charity called Style for Soldiers, created by this wonderful lady called Emma Willis, and this is about dressing the individual to look as smart as they can be for a job interview, for a wedding, for whatever it is. She, as an individual, gets the arts, and not many charities do, military charities. So Style for Soldiers has provided mentoring, some teaching, some financial assistance for me and 4 other injured veterans who want to become artists, to give us the freedom and the space and the capacity to start our fledgling career. So it's an exhibition, 2 weeks, we've got a week to go, at La Galleria in Pall Mall, opposite the Institute of Directors. It's a showcase of the 10-year celebration of the charity and our attempts at painting. And it is the most profound exhibition I think you will ever...
Yeah, it's very powerful and very moving. We've just had the 100th anniversary of Armistice.
Yes.
A lot of debate about whether we should continue to have Remembrance Day. There's the white poppies have been around and so on. You've been at the front line defending this country. What do you make of that debate? What did you make of all the scenes on Sunday?
I didn't... scenes on Sunday, I'm quite pedantic, so... put it into context. My village that I live at now in Draycott in Derbyshire, it's a small village, but then they read out 56 names of soldiers that were killed in the First World War. To me, there should be no debate about whether it's a red poppy or a white poppy. I think we've forgotten the reason that it started off with, you know, sort of remembering those who died in the First World War. In 1918 it started. It's gone beyond that. It's actually just about remembering anyone who suffered and died. And it doesn't have to be in the war context. Use the situation to actually remember your own family. They may have died for other reasons, but war is a cause, but the impact on individuals is long-lasting, and that's why you wear a poppy. And I am against the idea of wearing a white poppy as a form of saying we shouldn't be wearing red, because actually I think they don't know why we wear a red poppy in the first place.
I also think there's a lot of serving members of the armed forces currently risking their lives for their country,
yes,
and it's for them as well. It's to acknowledge the service and sacrifice they're making on a daily basis, and I think for that reason it should always be an important part of our calendar. But look, Stuart, it's great to see you. Thank you for giving me the honour of honesty. I was just very honoured when you said you wanted to paint me. I think it's a fabulous painting.
It's a terrific painting.
Best of luck with the exhibition. I urge people to go down there and have a look at it. It's an amazing thing. And it's just great to see you back on your feet and doing something that you're loving. And
thank you.
You found a whole new passion in life.
The taxi driver said last night, he said, what are you going to do with the painting? Are you going to sell it? And I said, I don't know. And he said, I tell you what, if you auction it off, there'll be thousands of people who want to buy it just so they can burn it.
Stuart, I'm just starting to like it. Anyway, I might buy it. It's rather nice. I can see it now. Yeah, I can see that.
You'll buy it to protect it for the nation.
I can see it, just to stop people burning it.